What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to another Resplendent review, and this time I'm going to be taking a look at Resplendent Sonya. So this is going to be a comprehensive analysis on her, and I'll also go over a lot of the builds which you can run for various game modes, and at the end I'll have a special bonus segment. If you do enjoy these consistent Resplendent reviews, then make sure to do plus 10 true damage to like and subscribe button, just like Sonya's Dark Excalibur. And with that said, let us begin. Sonya is a Gen 1 green infantry mage with Dark Excalibur as her preferred weapon. So the extra Resplendent stats definitely help her with her nuking potential because any amount of extra attack is always good with a weapon like this, and extra resistance can help her with mirror impact builds with Iceberg and Glacies. So Dark Excalibur is pretty straightforward as a weapon. It gives you plus 10 true damage whenever your special triggers, and at start of turn 1 it gives you -2 special cooldown. So she can pre-charge, Moonbow, Glimmer, 2-turn specials like that. And if you run Time Pulse, Quicken Pulse, or even Infantry Pulse, then it will all stack up with Dark Excalibur. So what you can often do is pretty much have a pre-charged Iceberg or Glacies on Sonya, so she can hit really hard with the true damage as well as her resistance. So now that we have got both mages with Dark Excalibur getting a Resplendent version, we can compare them both. So Sonya does have a whopping 7 extra attack compared to Merric, which means that she functions a lot better as a nuke with Dark Excalibur. Merric on the other hand has got better HP and better defense, which does make him a bit better in arena for tanking stuff like Legendary Chrom in the enemy phase, which Sonya is not going to be able to do because of her lower bulk. So Merric can be useful there, but overall as a nuke, Sonya is always going to be outperforming Merric no matter what. The unfortunate part is that Sonya is a 5-star locked unit. She can appear in the 4-star special raid, but still she's a lot harder to plus and merge compared to someone like Merric, who's just in the normal summoning pool. So overall her niche is basically being a big nuke with Dark Excalibur and the pre-charged specials. She's not going to be that fast like a modern mage, and mostly you want to invest into her attack stat so that she can hit harder, so definitely go with plus attack IV. And her main uses is basically being a nuke in Aether defense, or being used in Arena Assault to nuke some kind of blue unit, or just use her as a PvE unit to clear abyssal content and also chain challenges. Sonya was also present in this year's Hall of Forms for Shadows of Valentia, so if you did get her, then this is going to be an extra merge for you with FEH Pass, which is really good because Sonya is a Gen 1 unit and any kind of extra merges are going to be super helpful to her. And now let's look at some of her builds. If you're going to be using her at super budget, then you can use her in Arena Assault with something like Attack Res Link and Drawback from Orochi, and just have an offensive Sacred Seal like Blade Session or Attack Speed Solo. You can also go with Quicken Pulse to have a pre-charge Iceberg, and this can again be useful in something like Arena Assault on a budget. If you want to invest a bit more into her, then Special Spiral is going to be a fantastic slot B option on her within AoE build. So keep in mind that the plus 10 true damage does get added to the AoE damage as well, and that is pretty good for her damage output even at low merges. So you can basically use her to spam AoE specials with a Blade Sacred Seal. Unfortunately, she doesn't have -1 special cooldown from her weapon, so you need to charge up the special by using Heavy Blade or Flashing Blade. Life and Death is going to be useful because AoE specials do work with the visible attack stat, so make sure to run that. Mirror Impact is also a fantastic way of using Sonya with Iceberg or Glacies. So by having Time Pulse and Slot C, you can have a pre-charged Iceberg at start of every map, and Mirror Impact just gives you plus 10 resistance, which is absolutely fantastic with this kind of special to boost her damage output, so she can hit really hard with this kind of build. If you want to invest even more into the AoE build, then you can of course go with Life and Death 4 and also have something like Joint Drive Attack. With 3 dancers, you can basically beat most of the in-game content with a Sonya like this. If you want a slightly different AoE build, then you can run Flashing Blade 4 or Heavy Blade 4 in slot A to get more true damage, and that true damage is going to get added into the AoE special, and you can just run Life and Death as a Sacred Seal. Resistance Smoke is also a pretty fantastic option within an AoE build. At max investment, you can definitely use her in Arena with Green Dual Infantry 4, and Dark Excalibur is going to be just making your Special Spiral active from the start, and you can spam Ruptured Sky, so it's really good for damage output, but unfortunately because of her lower physical bulk, she cannot really take on Legendary Chrom and stuff like that in the enemy phase, unlike Merric, but still she's going to be packing a lot of punch. You can also use her in Aether defense where she is really good, and even on a budget she can be a pretty nice Glacies nuke if you provide her with some Infantry Pulse support. So you'll have to give her 2 external Infantry Pulse support, or you can run Quicken Pulse on her and just give her 1 Infantry Pulse support from something like a high HP dancer like Ninian or Sylvia. And at low investment, there's really not many options for slot B, So you can run Wings of Mercy to surprise snipe your opponents. If you can run Mirror Impact with this build, then she can even kill like plus 10 Brave Hectors if they are not well supported. so that's an option, but Mirror Strike is also decent at budget. You can also run an AoE build with having Blazing Wind as their AoE special and have Wind Sweep. So double life and death is going to be helping you with the AoE special, and Wind Sweep is going to be helping you against those tanks which will survive. So she will at least not die, because many of the physical tanks like Brave Hector are super slow, so she can at least trigger her Wind Sweep against them. And this is also a way of still annoying your opponent even if you get pulsed down by something like Pulse Smoke. Sonya can also kill A+ and merge Brave Hector with Far Save with this build, but if he has got buffs or if he's summoner supported, then he will live. But still, most of these smart opponents are gonna be making sure that Hector does not get hit by the AoE special. Instead, they're gonna have another ally take the AoE hit, and then he can take the in-combat damage from Sonya. And that's why having Wind Sweep is really good to just annoy those kinds of threats. At higher investments, you can of course go with Mirror Impact and have Time Pulse as your slot C. So this allows you to pre-charge Glacies on Sonya on her own, so she will not need any kind of external Infantry Pulse support. Of course, if you do have Infantry Pulse, then you can just run Mirror Strike on Sacred Seal, but having this kind of self-sufficient nuke is also helpful with some kind of team composition where you don't really want to run some kind of Infantry Dancer and you want to run other Flying Dancers for ground orders or something like that. You can also run the AoE build with Time Pulse, and this means that you will only require one Infantry Pulse to have a pre-charged AoE special, so that is pretty good at higher investments with Time Pulse. And Time Pulse is pretty much going to be her best slot C option if you're going to be investing heavily into her. And finally, you can use her as an AoE special nuke in Aether Raid's offense. So she can be used to just attack many of the Far Save tanks. Against Brave Hector, she's going to be really helpful, as Far Save Brave Hector is quite common. But nowadays, you can also use her as a hit and run unit with the tools that you're given in Safety Fence, and also Canto Regan with Reposition. So that's also possible. And just in general, she can be useful for taking down problematic blue units which are going to be annoying for your main carry unit. Ceros is also going to be present, so again, the green color and the AoE damage does help you with that. And now let's move on to our special section where I theorize about a re-refine. So if Sonya got a re-refine, I think I would probably want her to have -1 special cooldown, because this allows her to have a pre-charged Iceberg without Time Pulse or Quicken Pulse, and just one Time Pulse is going to be enough for her to have a pre-charged Glacies, which is extremely good. And -1 special cooldown also means that she doesn't need to run a Blade Sacred Seal for the AoE builds, which is a huge thing because now she can stack up even more damage and doesn't really rely on those Blade Sacred Seals to get these special charges. And then finally, I would like her to have some kind of Deadeye effect similar to Young Innis, so that she can pierce through the damage reduction skills. Nowadays, we have a lot of damage reduction with Flame, Guard Bearing, with Fallen Edelgard, and things of those natures, so many times even a nuke like Sonya with pre-charged Glacies or Iceberg can fail to finish off those units, and that can be really annoying as a Sonya user. So that's why having this kind of Deadeye effect would be really amazing with this kind of nuking weapon. This is also a reference to Shadows of Valentia, where magic can ignore the avoid that you're given with terrain and stuff like that. And in FEH, she's basically going to be ignoring the dodge skills with this weapon refine. So let me know in the comments if you liked this Theorycraft or not. I'll be eager to hear that. And I hope you all enjoyed my review. Make sure to share this video with your friends who are really excited about Resplendent Sonya, because her art upgrade is absolutely insane this time around. And I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support. If you enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like and a comment, helps me tremendously. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes make you wait for videos just like Camilla fans have been waiting for Resplendent version. So that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.